Now diving in to the players that are 50% or fewer rostered in your league, a guy that I thankfully stashed. If you had watched our Sunday show, you would have known Gus Edwards was getting the first team reps and early the warm up for the game, and it came to fruition. He was the clear lead back in this one with 16 carries out of the 42. He ultimately racked up a whopping, it didn't go crazy yards per clip here, but 66 yards. The big thing was the 2 scores, goal line plunge ins. That's what Edwards always been a maven at, the goal line, just churning yards, and more yards. Like the guy's career average is around 5.0. I know Harditz has some great stats about how he's in like the elite of the elite company in terms of his ability to put up over 800 yards and at over 5 yards a clip through his first 3 seasons. Like it's like Jamal Charles. It's crazy, the company that Gus Edwards is in terms of his efficiency as a runner. And I thought he looked pretty spry, like slimmed down a little bit. The bus is still the bus. He can still truck. But I was really impressed with just the physical shape he was in coming off an ACL. Dobbins seemed hesitant and slow when he first came back. The bus was just steamrolling, going for it. And ultimately, he took over the backfield. We haven't seen Dobbins even approach 12 carries, never mind 16. So he walked right into a massive workload. The thing is, though, it looks a little bit better than the underlying usage might suggest. He is my number 1 pickup. I do think you go 25 to 30% of your fab just because this was his get his feet under him, get your feet wet type of game. 2 touchdowns and 16 carries. I mean, that's a great spot to be in. But you do have to keep in mind none of the running backs, including Gus, saw over 40% of the snaps. 23 snaps to Gus, 20 to Justice Hill, 17 to Kenyon Drake. I mean, it was kind of a nightmare in that type of rotation. That's what the Ravens backfield has consistently been with Greg Roman. But Edwards definitely had the part of like Mark Ingram. You remember a couple of years ago where Mark Ingram was like a top 15 running back, even with just playing around 55% of the snaps. I could definitely see that type of ceiling for Gus Edwards. So this isn't the type of guy where it's like Kenneth Walker a few weeks ago, where you blow all your fab, make sure to lock this guy up. No, that's not the case here. The ceiling's definitely a little capped compared to that, but I do think Gus Edwards could be a very, very solid, nice locked-in running back to the rest of your season here. Even when J.K. Dobbins, that's like, again, why you shouldn't blow it all, because Dobbins will be back in about 4 more weeks. And then what does this get even messier potentially? But it does seem like the team is much more willing to let Edwards shoulder that workload, that 16 to 20 carries. Clearly love him at the goal line, as they always have throughout his career. So I think there's every week touchdown upside here with about 14 to 20 carries any given week. And a great run scheme for a guy that, again, looked more spry than before he got hurt. I like it a lot. That's why I'm willing to spend about 25 to 30% of my fab here to go get Gus Edwards wherever he's available. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.